So we're chatting to an ex-gangster today called Charlie Breaker. South London. I think we feel out of our depth here, don't we?
Do you think that? Do you think the nervous conversations we've had for the last 2 hours about it is...
I tell you what's worrying me. I was more nervous with Steve Davis, and I don't know why. I don't know what. I've got a feeling I'm going to put. I don't know.
It's a clash of the worlds, isn't it?
I feel like you're going to get on with him. I really do.
Why have you said this to me earlier? There's absolutely no
Because you understand London. You're a London boy in my head.
I can basically go, I know where you mean. That's it. I know where you mean, not what you mean.
I just feel like you're a London boy.
I'm not. I live in Kent. I live in Sussex and I lived in Kent.
Isn't Kent London?
It joins London, but he's...
Well, I'm not a London boy, although when Naomi met me, she thought I was proper London.
Why? Did you wear pearly, dressed as a pearly?
She said the way I talk.
Right. I don't know how this is helping.
I don't know. My point is, I think you're going to get on with him, and I think he's going to think I'm a pussy boy.
I think he's going to see through both of us, if I'm honest.
Oh, God.
Do you think... God. Hi, Charlie. Do you think we're pussy boys? Oh, God, now
I've just seen the first question that we've got set up. Have you been in a car chase?
What is it?
Have you been in a car chase? Fucking hell, spells. Parkinson.
That's the highest you've ever jumped.
Oh, what are we doing? We're so shit at this.
Oh, God. Shit. Don't just go fucking quiet, because that will irritate me. Because you're... Because you'll just go...
No, I wouldn't do that.
You might go quiet hoping I'll have pulled something.
Where's David gone? Just that.
David? I think we've got to be honest and go, look, we don't know any of this world. And,
have you been involved in crime yourself?
Me? No.
Yeah.
No. Of course I haven't. Have you?
I have. Yeah.
I really don't believe a word of that.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah. Well, why don't you save it for when Charlie comes on and I'll ask you what crime you've done and you answer in front of Charlie. How comfortable would you be saying what you'd done before he'd said anything?
Like, I'm scared of fighting. Is he not scared of fighting?
I'm scared of fighting.
But I would be scared of hitting someone in the face. But wouldn't you? Yeah. I want to know what that's like.
Don't ask that.
What? Don't ask what?
I think he's got the... Hello, Charlie. Hello.
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 Hello. Hello.
Oi, seven, right?
Hello, Charlie.
I'm a bit Tom and Dick this morning. Sorry about this.
Yeah,
you don't have to do it if you're feeling ill.
Yeah, I'll give it a shot. Look, if it's a shit recording, then you just don't fucking use it. You know, I'll do another go, but I'll give it a shot rather than waste your time, mate. You know what I mean?
Honestly, we've done loads of shit recordings.
It's mainly what we do. Yeah, you're already in our top 10.
Hello, Fox, and his oi, fucking samurai.
Trust me, we've got some shit.
Charlie, we're really nervous.
You're nervous?
Yeah, we've got to be honest.
Yeah.
We're talking to a gangster. We are well out of our depth.
Oh, dear. Last time I was nervous, somebody had a gun to me head.
Oh. What? I don't know where to start with you, Charlie. What? Can we talk about that?
Start the bollocks and work upwards. I'm
When
sorry,
was the
but
last
you
time
know-
someone had a gun to your head?
Why? Because I bashed his mate up. But what he didn't realise was, and this is a real crazy thing, is I'd give that gun to somebody else because it was fucking useless. And he'd sold it to this other fella, who then decided to threaten me with it. And he put a gun to my head, and I went, oh, fuck, what's happening? And I thought, oh, no, it's the same one I sold fucking Paul the Stitch. He was called Paul the Stitch because he stitched people up. And this gun was fucking useless. So I give the gun to Paul the Stitch. And he went and sold it to this other bush, whose mate I had a row with in the booze, and he decided to come and was going to threaten me with a gun. And when I realised what gun it was, I told him, and he was so shocked I managed to get it out of his hands and bash him around the head with it. There you go.
Hang on, this happened in a pub. Did you say this happened in a pub?
No, it's happened actually in my yard. I had a yard, a broker's yard in West Norwood. And I met this guy called Andrew in there, and I can't remember what it's all about, but I ended up having a row with him. In them days, there weren't many people could beat me, except with a gun. And so his mate then decided he was going to come with a gun and make retribution for the fact that I had a row with his mate. And of course, it didn't happen. Yeah.
I think if someone had held a gun to my head, I'd remember why. Do you know what I mean? I think that's.
I beat the granny out of geese for some reason, but I can't remember why I beat the granny out.
How are you so... genuinely, Charlie, how are you so hard? How can you
how does one become hard?
How does one become hard? I think it's all about your upbringing. I was born in Bomtorn, Brixton, right?
Yeah.
The year the war ended, all the soldiers come back. They were always randy as fuck. And there were all these gaudy birds who hadn't had a bunk up except they managed to find an American soldier for fucking years. And so there was a massive baby boom, and biggest baby boom the country had ever known. And I was born in that boom, but there wasn't room for me, so I had to go. I went into care. I mean, I think when you go into care and you've got people trying to stick things up your bum and all that kind of thing, you know, it makes you very hard. You know what I mean? And you sort of start the world with a very aggressive nature, which is fortunately gone as you get older. But because you really, it wasn't easy. It wasn't fucking easy. Yeah. Anyway, I went straight from kids' home to approved school within months, and within months of that, I went to Portland Borstal, which is the well-known toughest Borstal there was. Can you hear me all right? My voice
Yeah, of course. Yeah, sorry.
I think it's all about the upbringing. Now, as a new book come out 2 days ago, it's on Kindle 2 days ago. It's not published yet. It'll be in book form within a week. It's called Georgie, and Georgie's all about them first years, my institution years, yeah. Mm. And I ended up coming out of Borstal. I thought, I'm going straight. So I went and worked at a pig farm for about 3 or 4 months.
How old were you then?
What?
How old were you then?
18. I come out of Borstal when I was 18. So I come out. So I worked for a few months on this pig farm in Essex, because I had a mate of mine in Borstal with. He lived in Essex, and he managed to find me a job, because I had nowhere to go, nowhere to live, nothing, no job, no money, nothing, right? So he managed to find me a job that had a caravan with him, and it was nice money, because it was cleaning out pigs all day long. What I did was shovel shit from the morning. I got up in the morning until when I went back to bed at night. And I should, it was so hot in these pig houses, I should wear a pair of overalls and a pair of white boots, that's it. Then you used to have to get under the standpipe of the night to get myself cleaned up a bit. But I didn't go out, I just saved the money up and I bought a little truck. Well, with the little truck, I decided I was going to be like my uncles, I was going to be totted. I didn't want to go back to crime anymore, and so I ended up totting. But
what's tottings?
Huh?
What's totting, sorry?
Oh, totting's going out. Well, it used to be the horse and cart originally. You went out ringing your bell and collecting old bits of scrap iron and things like that, you know? Or a rag and bow man. Sorry.
Rag and bow man.
It's a rag and bow man, you know? Not a right, so I wanted to be a rag and bow man, but I wanted to be a posh one with a truck, you know? And so anyway, I got the truck. I went there. The local scrap merchant was a guy called Charlie Richardson, who my family had always with horse and carts, yeah. So I ended up working with Charlie Richardson. Hence, I went back on the trot.
Right.
So yeah, that's a little bit of history for you.
Where were they based? The Richardsons, where were they?
Brixton, where I was. I'm a Brixton boy, see.
Right. Fucking hell. So you basically got out of Ballstall, tried to go straight, and then ended up falling in with, and then did it just progress from there? Charlie Richardson, and then what did you do for him? What did you start doing for him that was illegal?
Well, I can remember the actual day when I used to go in the office and stand in the office and wait to get paid for me a bit of scrap, right? He only done metals, he didn't do iron, he only done metals like brass and copper and old radiators and things like that. So I'll be in there, as copper radiators, not silvers, and I'll be in there, I'll go in the office, he'll be in the office, and I'll just stand up and just wait for me money, say nothing and walk out again, because Mr. Richardson was like the epitome of the ultimate gangster you didn't mess with, you know what I mean?
Really?
And so I had to show total respect, right?
How did you know he was not to be messed with? Did your reputation or what was it?
He had a rep as being one of the for being the biggest gangster in the whole area, really, the whole of South London. You know, he was only one of the crazy scared of, you know what I mean?
Right, of course.
How much older than you was he?
For me, I can't remember. There's probably about 20 years between us, roughly, I'd say.
Wow.
I did know him right to the end. He died aged 80-something, and I was like 60-something at the time, so that gives you an idea, yeah.
Yeah.
We remained friends, but he ended up getting the 20 stretch for torture. And I knew that all the team were going to get pulled in, so I knew I'd done a run and went to Cornwall. And that was the beginning of the next saga. I thought, I'm going to work on a fishing boat. I'm going to go straight. I'll go straight, work on a fishing boat. Went to work on a fishing boat. What happens to fishing boats in the winter? And they heave anchor, and everybody goes down the old King Cole, down the toll, right? But I couldn't do that because I was in the old Bill were looking for me, so I didn't go down to the office. So what did I do? Guess.
Did something
back to crime.
Right.
Yeah.
And what was
Charlie, sorry, just going back to when you worked for Charlie Richardson.
Go on.
When you said, you had to just watch yourself around him when you worked for him, would he have turned on you if you'd said the wrong thing? Or done
No. What I'm saying is because when a guy's got that amount of respect, I wouldn't expect him to turn on me. He was known for punishing people that had done things wrong, done people wrong. You know what I mean? He treated me good. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I always treated him with respect, like a young man should repeat. You know, like say nearly 40 or whatever. I'm like 18. I've got to treat him with respect. You know. With the name what he had, you definitely treat him with respect. You know.
And what did you start doing for him? What was the trade?
Right, I've gone to the office this time to get paid, and he says, "Sit down, boy." I said, "No, that's right, Mr. Richardson. I'll stand up." He said, "I said, sit down, boy." I said, "Sorry, Mr. Richardson." And I sat down. Right. He says, what's it? I've heard you're Lionel Blair to nobody. Lionel Blair being scared, right? Ramey's saying, you know, I used a fair bit of that at the time. I heard you're Lionel Blair to nobody. So I said, well, perhaps that's the case, because I was a tough young guy in the pubs, fighting with everybody and winning most things, you know, or nearly everything. And so I said, that's the case. He said, would you like to come and work for me? I said, if you want, Mr. Richardson. He said, well, it'd be better money than doing a bit of scrap, mate. I'll tell you now. So I said, all right, okay then, okay. What do you want me to do? He said, delivery. I said, well, I've got my little truck. He said, no, you'll be needing a van. So I thought, what do I need a van for, right? He said, but don't worry, I've got a brand new transit out there you can use. I said, well, what am I delivering, Mr. Richardson? So he says, people. So I had to go around and bang on people's doors, and they didn't answer them. Then the doors went in, they were old wooden doors them days, and on the old shoulder, and then it went. And take them against their will to go and have a chat with Miss, have a dicky bird in a shell like a Miss Richardson.
Were you never scared what was on the other?
Right, you're here. Go on.
Were you never scared what was on the other side of the door, though? Like
I was nothing, because he said, I'm Lionel Blair to nobody. I'm still Lionel Blair to nobody. I'm 75 and I'm still Lionel Blair to nobody.
Gordon Bennett.
If both of you two come for me, I wouldn't run away. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't worry too much. I don't worry about us, to be honest with you. It's like 2 lumps of jelly coming.
Charlie, can we go back to when you said when you're in the pubs, you're like a rough? If I was just in there having a drink, and I'd accidentally just gone and knocked your drink, how would you have reacted to me?
At 18.
I'd buy me a pint. If you didn't, I'd fucking tell you.
And if for some moment of madness, David said no.
Right. You knock somebody's beer over, you bought them a pint.
So what was all the scrapping in the pubs over then? What was the
usually people getting too much alcohol in the pubs, and a lot of, in them days you see the fathers and all that being come back from the war, right? So we was born, all we heard about was them fighting. We wanted to prove that we could fight as well, yeah?
Right.
I see, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And so we wanted to be like our fathers and all that, hard and all that, you know, even though I never really contact my father at this stage, but it was an actual thing to want to do that. I'd done boxing from very, very young, all the way through institutions and boxing and all that. And I'd also become quite a large geezer, right? I mean, I'm down to about 20 stone now, but I was 30 at times. But, a big geezer. Well, I think my prime, the last fight I had, it was 26 stone.
26 stone? Really? How tall are you?
Only 6'2.5" now. I'm shrunk a bit.
I wouldn't want you knocking on my door.
No, or coming through my door.
I used to be bigger, right? But the length of was so much for the thumb on my head, I was shrunk a bit, you know.
So you'd go round to people's houses and take them to see Mr. Richardson?
Yes. Not single driver. I had a driver.
Can you walk us through that scenario? So, because I'm that alone, what is that?
And what would they have done for you to have to go round there? What would they have?
That really wasn't my business. My business was to deliver to them and collect the money, you know what I mean?
So what would happen? So you get to number 13 or whatever it is, and what happens next?
Right. Sorry, I had a mate of mine called Mad Mick, right? Well, we called him Mad Mick.
Oh, God.
And he was known for his courage and one thing or another, and having a bit fearless. He worked for me for years. And I took him on to work with me so we could both get a living between us this way. And so to get a living, it wasn't every day of the week, believe me, you know, but it was often enough to put a nice bit of money in the kitty. And so I would be with Mick, and we'd go there, we'd go to the door. First one, pretty soon, I remember I was in Tivoli Road in West Norwood. And I was 13, I think it was something like that anyway. And I've gone there, and I've gone to the door, and you know when the little peepholes used to have in the door, you could see the light on the inside, right? Yeah. This is like early hours of the morning, right? Not early hours, but before the average man had gone down in the docks and so on, you know. And you could see the light. So when you banged on the door, if the light went out, it means somebody was looking through the peephole at you, wasn't it?
Oh, I see, because they got in the way,
Yeah. So anyway, it went dark, right? It's the first job, I remember it now. Anyway, so I shouted, right, open the door because we're coming in, and nothing happened. So I put my shoulder on the door, big old boy I was, and straight away the yell lock ripped off the wooden post, and we was in there, right? So we walked in there, the purpose was quite fast, walked in there, and look at the geezer just about to do a runner and trying to get out the bathroom window or something he was going to do. Anyway, my mate, the wife and kids screaming in there, and my mate grabbed hold of him, banged his head on a fireplace. I said, look, we don't get no money for stiffs, mate, you know what I mean? Yeah? Leave it out. He said, I just thought I'd drive him up, Charles. So anyway, he would have then got in the back of the van, right? And then we got the other end. I'll never forget the first time we went there. It's because Mick was in the back of the van with him. I was driving, right? And I said to Mick, don't knock him about, you know, that's up to Charlie when they get there, right? Leave him alone, right? So anyway, so we got there, and Mick jumped out the back of the van. I wasn't about trying to geezer. Mick jumped out, and they thought he was a geezer I come to get. Charlie's workers thought it was a geezer going to get. And they grabbed hold of Mick and Fred Mick and I said, watch out, that's my mate. The geezer you once saw in the back of the van.
Fucking hell. And
So then he would
go
then
and
he'd
talk
just go
to
and have a chat
Charlie.
with. Yeah.
If you know anything about the torture trials, then you'll understand.
I don't. But, oh my god, torture
You
trial.
must
So
Charlie Richardson, the torture trials, he got 25 years for it. He used to say, punish people, but he put things like put electric things to their toes or whatever, and now their feet to the floor or whatever, and all kinds of things. But I wasn't in any part of that. No,
Right.
I was just, well, you and me, yeah.
yeah, Christ.
And 10 to 1, I didn't know what was going down anyway. I was just delivering these people, and they were getting punished.
And you're at that age. What are you like? What age are you when you're doing that till?
18.
You're 18.
18
That's a
and half,
baby.
yeah.
That's a kid.
It was no baby for me. Don't forget, I've been on my own since I was like a fucking little baby, practically. You know what I mean? I spent all my life looking after myself.
Yeah.
When you're in a children's home and they're full of ponces and perverts and nonsense, or want to play with your dick or stick things up your arse and all that, you've got to learn to look after yourself quick. Or submit to them and let them do what they want to you. And I tell you, a lot of boys are completely fucked up by it, by having things, allowing them people to have that done to me. I wasn't having that. I was a little bit ahead of that thing in my nerve, in my courage, and I weren't allowing them. And I got caned. Remember one Mr. Greenwood, bastard, right? He really fancied me because he couldn't get his own way with me. I become almost a thing about he wanted me, you know what I mean? Yeah. He used to think of every reason to take me in his office, drop my trousers and cane my ass. And I used to have scabs on top of scabs on top of scabs where I've been caned 6 for the best every day of the fucking week, you know.
Sorry that happened to you. That really happened.
Well, no. It built me. It made me what I was. You see, some people are break. To me, I become the breaker. You know what I mean? I've always been known as a breaker because nothing broke me, mate. You know what I mean? Yeah? It made me. It made me what I was. And when you say you can't understand what I was like 18, I was a baby. I was far from a baby, man. I was a big t- you know what I mean? Yeah?
Yeah.
And I, that way, remained me that way. You know? End of story.
Do you feel like you didn't really have a, like, when you were growing up that way, you had no other way you're going to go but into crime? Do you think it was always just...
Well, you see, where I was, that's all it was, because after the war, there was nowhere to work. There was no money, nothing. All the factories had gone, because the Hun wanted to do the House of Parliament, right?
Right.
And you see, them doodlebug things never got any further than the Thames, right?
So
What's the other side of the Thames to the House of Parliament? Lambeth, where I lived. So we got these doodlebugs all the time. There was nowhere to live for most people. We had a 2 up, 2 down house, right? And we had 21 people there living at one stage, women and children and men. Men camping out in the garden, in the coal cellar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just nowhere to live.
Yeah.
And there was no money, there was no work, no factories, nothing, you know. So all you could do was go out totting. Well, Tottenham could get a fair bit of shit off the bomb sites and that, but it's always worth a bit more for crime. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll always be looking for a bit of crime as well. You know, mostly outside the area though. Mostly outside the area.
And
I'll never get one right. If you don't mind me telling you this,
no,
but
of course.
one of my friends when I was a young boy said, "How come your uncles always stand up on a horse and carts? Why don't you sit down?" I said, "Because they can't see over the fences. He was come out of chore that night."
Okay. So after you've done, so you would you say your first sort of job as a gangster, is that the term? Was looking?
No. It's a term that gets used very loosely. I mean, really, my part in the world, I was part of the firm, right?
Right.
And we didn't see gangsters, we just see a load of villains working together.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And pulling together, not like today, dog eat dog and rat eat rat. It's a different story now, but we all pulled together. And one had a problem, you had a problem, you with me. And it's the only form of gang, really, you could say, gangsters, where we were always one group of people.
Right.
I think the word gangster probably come from the mafia or something, didn't it? I don't know. But
Right. But that
I don't badly used it, really. Then.
right. Okay. But so that was the first thing you did was dragging people back to meet Charlie Richardson. What did you do next as a kind of
It
career
wasn't the
path?
first thing I ever done, believe me, because between my little senses, I was up to crime every time I come back.
What were you
know
doing?
what I mean?
What were you doing to survive then?
Everything, we used to get up on the roofs and go through the skylights and rob places out of town and all that, you know what I mean? Or not out of town, but out of our area. We used to go and find places like, for instance, there was a place, Crombie coats. And they used to make these Crombie coats. There was these Jewish firm used to make them. And we'd go with our wooden ladders, which used to get rotting up. So I'd alley somewhere where you hid them under leaves and put them up and go through the skylight and then drop themselves into the factory or whatever it was, or warehouse, wherever you buy. And somebody opened the front door and you'd run out with bits and pieces. But you see, you can't run down the street with a load of clobber, can you? You know what I mean? Especially in the night, whatever. We used to have to cover it up and hide it somewhere and then get one of the uncles out with a horse and cart, pick it up for you and give him a drink out of it, you know. It was like the first
It's quite organised
really.
then.
Oh, it was organised in a way.
When you did all that, Charlie, were you each time you did it? Did you have like a buzz? Were you scared of doing it, of being caught?
I've always buzzed from crime. Never scared, just a buzz, you know. I mean, later on, driving, you know, it was the buzz of driving, you know, having the cops after you. Wow, it's great, man.
When you say driving, what do you mean? What?
Well, when I was driving, I shouldn't be where I was, or had something about I shouldn't have, or that sort of thing, you know.
What about the fear of getting caught? Was that there? You know, like, did you fear prison, or after you'd been? Because I know you said you'd been a ball store, but did you fear it, or were you wary of it?
I've been brought up in institutions all my life, so I had no fear of it at all.
Simple as that.
It's simple as that. It was my life. My life. My kid, all I knew was being in a home. All I knew was being in a prep school. Then all I knew was being ball store. What's prison? Prison's just a further on. That was apprenticeship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You'd expect you to go there. Of course you would.
So it was just going to happen at some point. You just knew you were going to go back inside at some point.
Of course he was. He was inevitable, really. You could try and go straight like I did many times, but it never really worked, you know. Because underneath crime was.
Why would you try and go straight just for less? Did you want to go straight for less hassle, basically? What was the reason to go?
I don't know. It was mentality, I think, because everybody was up to crimes, and it was like I've always been one who likes a challenge, right? And I guess that's what made me a good fighter, because I was always up for the challenge. You know what I mean? And I think the challenge not to get nicked for crime, you know.
Yeah.
But when I did. That was it, right? But it was literally a little challenge. But these challenges go wrong when your life goes wrong, you know. And as my new book says, somebody's put a mention in the book there somewhere on the back or something. And I said all he was doing was looking really for a life and a home. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I never had either really permanently, apart from being in institutions. And my first proper story about that is Georgie. I say that's out on Kindle now if you want to read it. But that's the first 18 years up until when I was with Charlie Richardson and having to do a trot. And the second half of that book, we've done it in two halves, is when I go on the trot to Penzance, running away from the Richardson charges. And
running away from Richardson?
Yeah, well, you see, the thing was, right?
Oh, when you thought you were going to get caught up in that.
They want to pull everything in around him and go, right, it's a 5 stretch for you, mate, or we want information about him, right? You know what I mean?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Well, I knew it would happen, and I'd done a runner straight away. I was gone. I heard that night at 6 o'clock next morning, I was down Paddington Station.
Oh.
Or on the train. And that's a funny thing itself, because I've gone down the station there and I didn't know where I was fucking going. I just knew I was going somewhere quick, you know?
Yeah.
So down there, and it's a train, the old puffer trains in them days, you know what I mean? I'm talking the 60s, and there was one blowing a bit of smoke out through the top there, and it looked like it was ready to go somewhere. So I walked across to the ticket office, and I said to the man, can I have a ticket ready for that train there? I didn't know I was going. And he said, where are you going? I said, well, on that train there. He goes, well, it's going to Penzance. That's wrong, Dan. I'm going to Penzance, yeah. I went there.
You must have thought you had a marble shop.
You know, where's going on? Penzance, that's it. I forgot what it's called now. That's why I'm there.
And we've got to ask about, what's it like being you're on the run. What's that like? How do you sort of survive that? What do you do? You're on the train. You end up in Penzance. What do you do next?
Well, I went down there. I was straight away out to try and place where we live, right? Because I was sleeping on the beach, and I managed to get a caravan. I had money because I've been grafting in London. I had enough money to get to rent the caravan. I rent the caravan. Eventually, I rented a little apartment. But meanwhile, I managed to get myself a job on a fishing boat. Now, I wanted. This was just a diving boat I started off with. I wanted to get on a proper trawler, which I did eventually. But that was me going straight, see, working on a fishing boat. No crime.
Sort of on the run at the same time, so a bit of both. It's not totally straight, but
Straight as my finger up.
Cool, bloody hell. At the door with that.
I got cut with a knife when I was young in the fight, and he done under the tendon and the finger. And also I managed to get gangrene, which didn't help at all. But there you go. It's all okay. Been okay for me.
So sorry, you're down in Penzance. You've got a job, but are you worried about a knock on the door?
Yeah, you paranoid? Are you always looking over your shoulder?
Can you relax?
There was no cocaine about in them days, so paranoid never really set in.
So you're just getting on with it.
Are you worried about getting caught like every minute of the day, or do you just
look? You strive not to get caught.
Yeah,
it doesn't stop you from doing it. It just makes you more cautious what you're doing. So you take precautions. You with me?
So you're giving false names everywhere and stuff?
Huh?
Were you giving false names and stuff? Were you doing that? Or?
Oh, a dozen names I had. A dozen names, yeah, all the time. I didn't give a false name if I went into the dry cleaners, probably coated, you know.
Right. Do you remember the names you were given?
Oh, yeah, I had loads of them. I was Charles William Hutton. I was Melvin Jones.
Oh, that sounds nice. You do the accent? You're doing the accents as well?
I come from Birmingham, my name's Melvin Jones.
I love that you gave your characters backstories. I like
that. All helps on the cover up, doesn't it?
Amazing.
Sorry. No, I was arrested once, right? In London many years later in the thing about late 80s or something, and they arrested me outside this place. It was over a passport thing, but it was only my ex-missus that grasped me up because I had still had a passport. I didn't even know I had it, but there you go. That's another story. So they arrested me, right? And they said, "What's your name, mate?" So I told them, because the keys of old Bill, plain clothes, pulled out a thing, and they had a mugshot of me. He says, "That's not what it says your name is there, mate."
Did you have to check which one you'd given them? Melvin, I need to change my voice.
So Charlie, did you? I'm sure you ask this all the time. Did you meet the Crays?
No, I had nothing to do with them fucking East End puffs, mate. When I went to so we hated them. They were the enemy, man.
Really? So you never met them? You never found yourself in the same room as them, or?
No. They wouldn't come south of the river. No way would they. Yeah, they would come south of the river. They sent a bloke over there once and he got shot because he belonged to their gang. Yeah.
So were you aware of the other way round, going to certain areas? You were like, absolutely. Because were you known by them, and if they saw you, would they recognise you?
They wouldn't have known me personally in them days, right? But the East End was still the East End, even after they'd gone away or whatever. And still, right through the 80s, if I crossed the river, I was always in a hurry to get back again. Because The problem was I was a loud, flashy geezer. You know what I mean? Always flashy motors and got a lot of say for myself, whatever. I was powerful, right? And if I went into East End pub, straight away they would go, who the fuck's he? You know what I mean? Yeah? Okay? And I'd be on top. Now, any Southside pub, they all knew who I was by this stage. Everybody knew me by the 80s and that, you know. So I could go in any East London, any South London pub, and I'd probably buy me a beer or whatever, you know what I mean? Yeah. But I go to East London pub, I'm liable to come on top, and so I did avoid that. But we went over there when we had to, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, say my barrister, he was in Fleet Street there, so the bar, Temple Bar there, and so you used to have to go and see him or whatever, you know what I mean? Yeah. But still, I only went there and come back straight away normally, you know what I mean? Yeah. I wouldn't stop away, no.
Bloody hell. Can I go to being on the run? How did you end up? What was the end of being on the run? Did you get caught? Did you?
Always. It's the only way to get on the run.
I've got to know how that happened. Was it kicking the door down? Was it like what happened? How did you get?
Let's put one for instance. Right. Okay. I was on the trot from a blue school. And I ended up in Newcastle because a mate of mine from Blue School said, come and find me in Newcastle, right, blah, blah, blah. And you can come and stay with me if you ever get away from here. So I went up looking for him. I didn't realise how big Newcastle was, and I never found him, you know. But I was running short at De Niro's.
So you just went up hoping to bump into it? You went up not knowing where he was?
I thought Newcastle was like fucking Johnston or something, you know. I didn't realise what a big place it was, you know what I mean? So, you know, and so I've gone up there and all kinds of stories around that one, but it's all in the new book, this one. And I got caught robbing a chemist, basically. And the reason I got caught is it was snowing. And I left footprints where I climbed over the fence in the snow. And the bastard got me through. I see the footprints go in the back of this chemist, and they come and arrested me, and it was all on top then.
Charlie, when you were robbing, what did you use as like? Did you have weapons?
Do you know what? I never really used a weapon as such myself. Right? I worked with people that have done, but you see, my robbing was always institutionalised. It was like not from people or whatever, you know what I mean? Yeah. And the only time I have worked with people that had guns is when they were doing armed robberies, you know what I mean? Yeah. Now I didn't get involved in a lot of them, but I've done a few. But I was only ever a getaway driver. I was never the man on the pistol or a man on the shooter, you know.
God, you're a getaway driver for an armed robbery?
Yeah.
Flip. Okay, got to know about this. Right, how does that? Right, in my head, obviously, I'm painting it like a film. But how do you get? What does someone say? Do you want to be involved in an armed robbery? How does that start?
What? How it all started was, it's because I was a big guy, right? And we were climbing ladders when I was younger to get up in the things. I ended up not being allowed up the ladders anymore because I was breaking all the rungs.
Did that hurt your feelings, or are you fine with that?
No, it hurt me fucking up when I landed on it. But he then became to the next job when he weren't going up the ladders was to be called keeping dog. Well, keeping dog, I don't know if you understand what keeping dog means.
I'm guessing keeping an eye out.
Keeping an eye out, yeah. What you do, you stand at the bottom of the ladder, or the ladder's now being shot out the way somewhere, but you're outside waiting to watch to make sure the boys don't come out and get arrested.
Yeah, but if I walk by and see you standing at the bottom of the ladder, I know something.
No.
Yeah, that scary looking bugger over there is by that ladder. Absolutely no problem. Keep walking.
No, I mean, mostly the ladder would have then been taken down and rammed up the side of the building or something like that. But you know what I mean? That was my job, basically, was keeping dog, right?
Use the inconspicuous one, yeah.
One gone up the ladder and gone through the skylight and dropped it in the place, robbed it, whatever they're doing, right? Yeah. I'll be keeping dog. Well, keeping dog has almost become a career move to become the getaway driver, because there you're keeping dog again. You're in the car outside keeping dog.
Right.
You with me?
Yeah, gotcha.
And I knew London, South London, so well. I knew every street. I knew every pub. Yeah, I didn't know too many churches, but no, I knew that.
So you were right when you what was being armed robbed when you were a getaway driver?
The traditional thing was the bank, right? But obviously, the other things happen as well. You know, it might be a new supermarket opened up somewhere or something, and you've got a lot of money. You know, Tesco's. What's the name?
Is this in the 70s and 80s?
This should be the 80s. Yeah, the 80s now.
But when was stuff like? Because I don't really know, like CCTV and all that sort of stuff coming in, and was that none of it? No. So it's a bit more free for all.
Sorry, there's no CCTV. There's no DNA. There's no CCTV.
Right.
No major central computers.
Of course. And that's why you
Charlie, if you've got a name for yourself around South London, surely they were just like, well, it's him, isn't it? It's Charlie. It's bloody
or
Charlie.
one of his mate. See a couple of broken ladders and know full well it's you.
But is that how it was? They were obviously suspicious that it was.
If something went down, and they were like, "Well, we'll ask Charlie."
Criminal in South London, you know. But
What's
I wasn't the only criminal in South London.
Well, you're the only one we've spoken to, so we're going to blame you for everything, are they?
I've been dragged in many a time, but you see, because there was no computers, no CCTV, no DNA, nobody grasped anybody up in them days. So you had to grasp yourself up, basically, right? And that was something I weren't doing. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'd be dragged in, and I'd go, just call solicitor, call me brief. You know what I mean? Because, no, you got to tell me, mate. You know what I mean? And of course, when the brief came in, he was released. You know, but you never make a statement, never say nothing at all. No, I've got nothing to say. Nothing to say up. You know what I mean?
So when you're sat in the car, Charlie, waiting.
There's got flies over in Spain.
That's all right.
Where in Spain are you, by the way? So, where'd you live?
Not far from Alicante, about 40 minutes south of Alicante.
Nice. What's the weather like at the moment? Is it still warm?
21 on it was, yeah.
21, heartbroken for you, mate. 21, it's bloody 9
I had
here.
my jacket on just now. I took it off.
God almighty, tough times. 21, bloody hellfire.
When you're sat in that car, Charlie, I mean, what are the nerves like waiting?
Because that's a big prison sentence, isn't it, if you get caught for that?
Again, it's a buzz. Isn't it? You're in there.
Buzz.
But you know what stopped armed robberies, don't you? They nipped it in the bud in the 80s very quick.
What?
The police took a shoot-to-kill policy.
Did
So
they?
anybody with a gun, they
So what
shot to
happened? What, in
kill.
the 80s?
In the 80s, yeah. I mean, I was in the nick when I was 40 years old, 1987 or whatever, and there was guys in there whose partners in crime had been shot by a gun by the police.
I didn't think that. Right, shit. So people were like, it's not worth the risk.
It's fucking right now, isn't it?
Yeah.
You don't get a bullet in your bonnet, do you? You know what I mean? It's
No,
genuinely,
genuinely,
wasn't
no. Christ.
No,
I've got a crap question here, Charlie, but I've got to ask it.
Go on, try me. I'm a crap man.
It's only because I watched it on TV now. I feel like a knob asking it. But did you know any of the Hatton Garden guys?
Just about all of them.
What?
Just about all of them. But there was perhaps 2 or 3 I didn't know, but I know the rest of the team.
Did you know it was happening, or did you know the after? Were you involved?
Do you know anything about it? No.
Shit.
No. The leader of the team, Reno, his name was, he was right out of my manner, I do him. You see, nearly all major crimes are committed by South London villains. Check up on that one and you'll see for yourself. That robbery, all that. We were the robbers, you know what I mean? And so therefore, everybody knew who everybody was, you know what I mean? Yeah. Now the actual Great Train robbery in 1964, right, was actually planned in my local pub in Brixton.
Fucking hell!
Yeah.
What pub was that?
It's called the Refugee Arms, I think, the Refugee Arms, something like that. Ronnie Biggs is my neighbour. Ronnie Biggs was my neighbour in Brixton.
Was he? Shit.
Yeah.
And they planned. Fucking hell, this is it's like a film, isn't it? You know, like it's kind of the. Do you see why so many films have been made about this sort of stuff, though? Because it's mind-blowing to outsiders.
Because people love all that because they'd like to do that. They'd like to be there, but they ain't got the bottle to do it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, it sounds glamorous. I'm sure it's not as glamorous, but it sounds madness.
It does glamorise crime in a way, and in some ways, I've probably got a few 1 stars on my last book over this because people always glorifying crime. Now, so what? I was a criminal. I'm ashamed of it. I didn't go around fucking hurting people for no reason. I didn't like that. You know what I mean? I didn't. I was a criminal. That's full stop. And I enjoyed my life as a criminal. Have you been reading the book when I've been reading the book?
I have, yeah. I'm up to. I've got to ask about it. I've got to the Isle of Wight. It's really making.
Oh, yeah. The funny one, yeah.
Flipping hell. Did you really put a sign? I know we're jumping there, but did you really put a sign up?
Yeah, I went to town to get some bits for the Who, right?
Oh, we've got to tell David all this because it's nuts.
For the Who?
Yeah, well, I didn't want to jump that far ahead, but yes, for the Who.
Yeah, the Who. Roger Daltrey, right, wanted me to sort out the drugs and that for him, you know. So,
yeah, get your head around that.
Get your head around that. And Roger Daltrey was only a small band. They weren't as famous as they are now, but they were still a proper band. And they wanted to try melons because they'd been smoking, all their mouths all dried up.
I thought melons was, when you in the book you said melons, I thought it was a type of drug. It was actual melons.
The actual
right. You keep talking about melons, getting a melons, and I thought, I wonder what
getting
that
is. Getting out there melon.
I thought it was a type of drug. Oh, actual melon.
Yeah.
Oh.
But while I see a round sign saying stop or something or whatever, and I thought, I'm going to fucking have that, right? And I took the round sign back and painted over the top of where it said stop and put acid instead, yeah?
Yeah, Charlie was selling acid at the Isle of Wight Festival, basically.
And put it on a pole and put it in the middle of a crowd of 6,000 people, acid. And everybody come to me and bought their acid off me.
But so you in the book you say you got a fellow who got loads of these acid tabs. So you went over to the Isle of Wight.
California guy, yeah.
And then so Roger is this right? Roger Daltrey walked past and asked you if you had any to sell, and then you ended up, I think, basically doing his shopping for 4 days. Sounds by the sounds of it. Doing his Tesco run.
Down and Cornish changes, whatever, you know, a small band in them days. I went backstage for some reason, I can't remember, I probably had something in mind. And this beautiful leather coat, party small for me, hanging up, right? So them days we would sell full-length leather coats or full-length sheepskin coats, whatever. And I see this coat and I picked it up, oh, that's fucking nice, it's pretty, don't fit me. Anyway, when I had it in my hand, Roger Daltrey came out with a starting pistol in his hand and said, put it back, cunt. And he remembered me. He remembered me.
Because you nicked his
the
last
big guy held a stop. The big guy held a stop.
And that's how then you ended up like running to the shops for him for 4 days and getting him. He'd sort of had enough of drugs at one point, hadn't he? He'd done a couple.
Oh, yeah. He just wanted me to get everything. They wanted ganja, they wanted acid, they wanted everything I could get hold of for them, you know what I mean? And so that was my job. I was a drug runner. I was the one who had to go and sort it all out.
I'm
just imagining going into like a dressing room going, I'm having that coat.
It didn't fit me. I was a big guy, it's a little coat. Roger Daltrey's only a little guy, isn't he?
I was going to say, he's about a third of that size, I think. He's kind of...
He's about a third as I was, yeah.
Yeah. I'll have it anyway. And so, what was...
Was there anyone you were afraid of, Charlie?
Never been Lionel Blair of anybody in my life.
No.
Ever. No,
yeah,
no,
met
no.
me, son.
I still don't. Look, I'm 70. I'm in my 70s now, right? A couple of years ago, I was 72, 73. And I'm in my local boozer there, Spanish booze. I don't use English ones. I don't like them. Too much gossip and shit and crap going down. But I use the Spanish ones where they have a laugh and get it and us and enjoy it. And I in this boozer, there's a proper bully boy, been around the area for ages. And everybody hated him, but everybody was scared of him. And he was like a I think probably on steroids. His arms are so big he couldn't get his shirt over him, you know what I mean? And covered in tattoos and go around growling at people and knocking them about, right? Not really beating them hard, but just being a bully. And I've gone in this pub one night, and he's there bullying the young boys there. Some boys in the pubs there, so you get 15, 16, 17-year-olds in pubs over here because it's not against the law, right? And there was a lot of them stood up by the bar, and he was bullying them about, and I walked in, so I thought I've got to get him away from them. This ain't right, you know what I mean? So I pulled him to one side. Come here, Julio. You know, come here, Julio. He said, "What's your?" So we're in Spanish. So I'm going. Let's get you a beer. So I got him a beer, right? Try and keep him down, but he started trying to bully me. Now I'm an old man in my 70s with a fucking walking stick, you know what I mean? Yeah, and he started at me anyway. I was putting up with it. Eventually, he grabbed hold of him by the throat, thinking he could get away with it, right? No, he wasn't getting away with it that way. So I jumped up and screamed at him, right? But meanwhile, a young fellow walked across, "Please, Mr. Julio, please don't hurt Mr. Charlie. He's a nice man, blah, 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 blah." And he took a swing at the guy. The skinny 16-year-old.
Right.
Skinny ass little kid, basically. And he's a big fucking muscly man. So I grabbed hold of him by his arm, his big muscly arm, and threw him out through the door. He bounced off the car. And as he come back off the car like that, I smashed him hard straight in the face and knocked him to his ass. I've become a local hero. I was a local 72-year-old hero, yeah. Because I was the only one to ever do him.
Did he? Was that the end of it, or did he?
Yeah, he was lying on the deck. I was kicking him in the head, asking him to get up, wipe me. And he said, no more, no mas, like bullies do. Anyway, all the youngsters come out now, and I throw my jacket on the floor because I won't go to the fight wearing a jacket. I throw my jacket on the floor. And the youngsters come out, and one's picked up a jacket to put on me, and the other was escorted him to the end of the road and said, "No, fuck up and don't come back." And he didn't, never come back. I think he was embarrassed to come back to know that a fellow who's 40 years old has been put on his arse by a 74-year-old man.
Jesus.
Charlie, what am I trying to say? What's it like having lived your life and like being an older man now, looking back? What am I asking? Like, at what point did you sort of mellow, and do you sort of miss those days, or?
It's like a beginning. I think I had a pact with my best friend Mark Ripley when we was about 30, and our pact was to live dangerously, die young. And if any of us went, then we looked after each other's kids or whatever, you know what I mean? And he died at 35. I'm still here.
Did he?
I've had everything happen to me possible could happen. I've been shot, I've been stabbed, I've been striped, I've been done with a machete, I've been glassed, I've been run over by a truck, I've been done with iron bars, I've had it all, right? I'm still here. It wasn't my plan to still be here. Believe me, I fucked right up, didn't I? Fucked right up. I didn't want to be at this age. It's horrible. I've got rheumatoid arthritis. I can't walk. I can't do fuck all for myself anymore. You know what I mean? Yeah, just about to get me trousers.
Are these?
I used to go to the toilet to get off the toilet. You know.
Is this your body sort of reacting to the stuff that happened earlier in your life, like the kind of fights and?
Very well might be, but my mother was in a wheelchair with rheumatoid arthritis from quite young. She spent 38 years in a wheelchair. But I did notice the first things to go, the bits that I broke years ago, like, you know, I broke my wrist punching somebody, so the wrist went, you know, all that sort of thing.
Yeah, become weaknesses, don't they? You know what I mean? Like,
I think they do, yeah.
So, sorry, Charlie, you said all those things in like 10 seconds, but you've had all that happen to you. You've been shot.
I've been shot. Side the head right here. I've still got the scar on my face here, and I was very fortunate. It was from a fair distance away. It was a 9mm, and it hit me in my back tooth, smashed the back tooth out, and I ended up spitting the tooth and got it out in my mouth.
What, you spat it? It remained in your mouth, and you spat it out.
Yeah, it hit the back tooth, right, and it shattered the back tooth. But it hit the back tooth so hard it completely shattered it, but it taken the impact from it. It was a fair distance away, you see. It was only a 9mm, it's a fair distance away. but it was still enough to penetrate my body, but not enough to go any further than a tooth once you shattered it.
Fuck. Was that the closest you've come to your demise, would you say? Or
I don't know. There's so many things happened to me. I don't know. I was run over by a truck, yeah? I run over by a truck, you know?
yeah.
I've had 3 lots of cancer. I've had serious blood disorders. I've had heart attack. I've had 4 strokes, and so on and so forth. So, yeah, I've had a life full of fucking problems, really, you know. But there you go. I'm still here and I'm happy with my life, you know.
No wonder you're in a bloody book. I couldn't fill 3 pages, if I'm honest. Christ.
I've written one book, believe me. I've got 4, 5, 1, 2. There's one out this week. Be another one out in the new year, and another 2 next year that I've already written.
Bloody hell, I bet you have. Christ. Stop living. What are you say, Dave?
Georgie, no one you want. Georgie.
Georgie, that's a new...
Yeah.
Georgie. We should plug it, Georgie, and it's available everywhere, is it?
On Kindle, is it?
It came on Kindle 2 days ago. It'll be on Amazon sometime during the week. And for my friends, I will have personal signed copies in the post to them within about a week from now.
Brilliant.
I just thought of a question. I don't know if it's any good, but
Go on.
what's the most scared you've been? I know you said you're not, but there must have been a situation where you're like, oh, this isn't
This
good.
has got out of hand or something.
Yeah.
Well, I only when there's women involved, I was thinking the only things I'm scared of.
But you've never been in a physical fight or where you
You having a
thought.
bubble bath? You having a bubble bath?
No, what I mean is.
Yeah, David.
No, I haven't
Yeah,
finished
you
yet.
prat.
Hang on. But you've never.
Can we gang up on David, Charlie? Can we?
Sure.
Hang on.
You think
Yeah,
it
you
starts on my
wanker.
boat,
Back down, Joe. I knew this would happen.
I'm puffing up.
Oh, forget it. But have you never been in a situation where you thought, okay, my life might be ending pretty soon now?
I think so. No, I think not in the fight. In the fight, really, I buzz up on it and I start shaking. If you start to see me shaking, you get out of the pocket way quick because I get so excited. I literally shake and I look like I'm being nervous, but I'm not. It's actually pure excitement, pure adrenaline build up. You know, I love a fight. I still love a fight, or I don't do it very often nowadays. But I've been here 17 years, or about 6 since I've been 17 years, so I don't do that kind of sort of thing anymore. But previously, to be quite honest, I used to go and look for a fight with someone, so I just need to have a fight. It'd be a fight or a fight with both, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess when I was asking earlier, because listen, we were nervous talking to you, Charlie. That's the truth.
Yeah. Good.
So I was imagining like bumping into you
I
when
was
you
only
were,
meant to be nervous.
but I was imagining bumping into you when you were younger. Would you have ever just picked on me in a bar?
No way, Jose.
No.
No. You had to do something wrong, you know, badly wrong towards me, or be totally fucking disrespectful. Mostly to other people more than me. I could take somebody insulting me. I go, well, tell me something I don't already know. I know that ugly kind of way, you know what I mean? But it's other things. Here's, for instance, I walk in a boozer, and they go, Sergey's over there. He's a drummer, right? Now, that's come from somebody I know and trust through their word, right? That guy's over there. He's a drummer. A drummer's somebody who robs old people's houses, things like that. They're drums, you know what I mean?
Oh, really?
Yeah, and of course there was lots of council flats and that in the area. A lot of the old people there lived in these council flats, and they get people in there knocking at the doors down and going and robbing the council. And I didn't like drummers, and everybody knew I didn't like drummers, so I just walked straight up to them and smashed them straight in the mouth, you know what I mean? Mostly they'd run out of the pub for fear of getting worse, you know? Yeah, it's low-life shit, you know what I mean? Low-life shit.
Yeah.
But I probably would have to buy the first couple of pints anyway after that. Usually you go to the bar and buy a pint, Charlie, well done, mate.
You must be banned from a few pubs then.
Oh, I went back from many pubs.
Well, even if you clump someone.
I say any or many, I can't remember now. That's someone's bar from the pub. No, most I wouldn't get bar from the pub because they wouldn't want the aggravation with me, you know what I mean? I wouldn't want to, you know, you bar me from a pub, I'm going to come back there and smash the place up, you know what I mean? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Was your nickname the Breaker, Charlie?
I was nicknamed the Breaker, yeah.
That's a good nickname, isn't it? If you're going to have a nickname, the Breaker. I'd be like,
You must have been over the moon when that stuck. Did you put it out there? Did you go, how about the breaker? How about me being the breaker? I'm just putting it out there, lads. If it sticks, it sticks.
Yeah. God, I would have taken ages over a nickname. Choosing a nickname is really
There's
good.
quite a few in the book that I was like, how'd you end up with that?
You don't nickname, do you? Who chooses their own nickname?
Well, I do.
I was thinking of giving myself the nickname the Ace, but
The Ace.
There you go. Yeah. It's because you've got them headphones on the same as an Ace Pilot, isn't it?
yes, exactly. Happy with that. I'll live with it.
So when was the last time you were in London,
Tell me
Charlie?
your nickname.
My
What's that?
nickname.
No, yours, sorry.
Oh, yeah, well, Dave, what's your nickname?
I don't know, dickhead or something.
How can Dave turn into Dick?
Dave's a dick.
That's going
No,
to
Richard,
stick.
I can see it.
Please let that stick. Hello, Dave the dick.
Yeah, hello. You're right.
Please. If you listen.
When was the last time you were in London, Charlie?
London, last place I was is in Milton Keynes about 7 or 8 years ago, I think, because I was a guest of honour at a boxing show. So I had all my expenses paid, booked up at a hotel the weekend, all my money man, everything to go and to be a big guest of honour. Because, you see, of all the old school names, I'm the only one they haven't seen because I've been over here, right? So I done a meet and greet. So I shook their hand and, you know what I mean, and signed their pictures for them and all that kind of thing. And for that, I got looked after for a nice weekend away.
Nice.
I wouldn't have done it. The time before that is I was in the film Bronson.
Oh, yeah, we've got
Oh,
asked about
shit.
it.
Do you know Charlie
I
Bronson?
don't know him personally, but he used to write to me all the time and send me stuff and that, I got loads of his drawings and things what he did.
I've seen Bronson. Who did you play in Bronson? Sorry, Charlie, I don't... What you were in the film Bronson with Tom Hardy?
Yeah, that's it, with Tom Hardy. I got me and Tom together. What it was, Bronson wanted me in the film. But the guy, the executive producer, whatever it is, didn't really want me in the film, really. But he had no choice because the deal was with Charlie to have me in the film, right? So he gave me 4 words.
What?
Yes, and for what? That's all I could say. That's for my 4 words. Yes, and for what?
Brilliant.
Sent me out, sent me back in. He called me $1 million mouth. I don't know because I had platinum teeth in them days, or whether I talked to it. I don't know what it was. But he called me $1 million mouth.
You had gold teeth.
You had platinum teeth?
You had platinum teeth,
Yeah.
oh God.
What, when you were walking around South London, you had platinum teeth? And you were 6'2" with muscles?
Oh, yeah, with a big diamond in
Fucking
it.
hell.
Stood next to a broken ladder.
Shit.
No, not in them days. No. Broken ladder days. We had aluminium ladders later on.
Sorry, Charlie. Talking about South London, what was your neighbourhood? Where were you always kind of?
Brixton. Brixton's my manor, really, but I sort of moved to a place called West Norwood,
Yeah.
which is outside Brixton, because I had a chance of a place there. But I'd always hop back to Brixton, go down there every day, you know what I mean? But West Norwood was where I was living at the time. And I got very well known because my fighting heyday was in the pubs of West Norwood. So.
Really? And that was in the 70s and 80s?
Well, yeah, 70s and 80s, yeah. I was about 30.
And what did you do sort of 90s and so when did your sort of your days of criminality sort of come to an end in?
Well, I moved to Spain 17 years ago and a heart attack 14 years ago, 14 years ago, I had a heart attack. And that slowed me down. It slowed me down with talking everything because I used to be very fast talking. I come fuck yourself, and you come. What do you think then to me? I was like that fast, right? And then heart attack slows you down a bit, doesn't it?
Right.
And now I've had all the strokes, I'm burbling a bit. I'm burbling, dribbling, and
Charlie, what's a heart attack like? What's it like?
Don't know really how to explain that. You get funny feelings in your arm and one thing and another. I've only had I had funny feelings in my arm and all, and my hands, fingers went all tingly, and then suddenly I could feel what I thought was indigestion. It was just getting worse and worse and worse, you know. And then eventually, I just fucking dropped on the fucking deck. Somebody found the evidence, and I was taken to hospital.
Fuck.
Shit.
But there you go.
Yeah.
And have they told you to cut out the, I don't know, booze and red meat or whatever?
Do you know what? No problem with booze, no problem with red meat, no that. And you ask one ever question: do you smoke? And I go, no. And they go, when did you give it up? I go, I've never smoked.
Right.
So that's the truth. I don't smoke.
Never smoked.
Right.
No. I think when I was younger, when I was training to be a boxer, when I was very, very young, when all the other boys were all walking around with fags out of their mouth, like, you know, I was trying to be a boxer, and I wanted to be a boxer. I wanted to be a tough guy. You know what I mean? I wanted to know how to do it properly, professionally. And I was always taught, if you smoke, you'll lose wind and you'll lose your fight. So from that, I always done it. And he said, gee up the other fellas and that I could last longer in bed with their girls as well. You know what I mean?
And that then calls the fight, and then off we go.
Oh, yeah. I got you going.
Wow, man.
So you fought in the ring as well. You've obviously boxed in the ring, and
yeah, I was an amateur fighter. You're reading that book that's just come out now. When I was in Portland, Borstal. I become an ABA there. I boxed for the ABA in the Borstal, and we used to fight the police, the police cadets, Air Force cadets, Navy cadets, soldier cadets, all the cadets used to fight. Right? And I got honked on the nose by this fucking police cadet in the ring, and I ended up kneeing him in the bollocks.
Is that part of the rules? I'm not sure that might. Not sure that. Yeah. No.
I lost my ABA license. I wasn't allowed to fight again. So I then become a trainer instead. I became an ABA trainer. But I was not. I had to be called a steward because I couldn't call myself a trainer because I'd been.
Because you need someone in the nuts, basically.
Yeah. Police cadet, nonetheless.
Right. It's a way to lose, yeah.
I've never thought about that, sort of getting carried away in a boxing match.
He caught me on my nose, right? He caught me in the nose, started bleeding, my eyes started watering from the pain on my nose, right? Yeah. And I thought, fuck this, and I just kneed him straight in the codge, you know what I mean?
Doesn't happen enough, that.
I think I'd watch more. Oh, Charlie's next, this should be fun. Someone's going to get one in the plums.
Oh dear.
You should have a 2-week ban, that's it.
Yeah, soon been.
Well, I got dropped from the boxing club, but the ABA club of the Borstal, right? But I still used to train in the gym all that all the time, so just the same. Didn't make any effect. And I was the top squatter when I was in there. Nobody could squat a bit bigger weight than me when I was in there.
Oh, well, lifting the weight? Oh, flipping hell, right.
No, bending your knees and going down.
Yeah, we have the weights on the shoulder. Yeah, obviously I don't have the technique.
I was doing 300 pounders as a teenager, you know, which is quite a lot.
Honestly, I'll tell you what I'm doing at the moment. I'm doing 25. I'm doing
what?
Well, I've got two 10-pound weights.
Yeah, so you know when you say about us coming for you, I wouldn't worry a huge amount, seeing as we can't lift our own fists up. Pathetic.
Thank you so much, Charlie, today.
All right, Geezer.
I'm sorry you're feeling poorly.
I know. I feel a lot better for talking now. I think more they're feeling sorry for themselves because I don't feel too well. But you know, anybody gives me the opportunity to talk and have a laugh with them, then it sort of brightens me up. But my throat's still a bit croaky. I don't feel a bit of a sore throat. You know, apart from that, I'm all right, runny nose, whatever.
So you've got how many books? There's one called, is it Nuff
Said? Charlie Breaker, Nuff Said, Tales of a South London Villain. That's already available. I've got screen.
Yeah, that's right. That's the one. That's the one, boys.
I'm gonna screen grab that and we'll put it on the.
Signed. It's not signed.
No, I got it on. I bought it on the web. It wasn't one of the. I didn't know you could get signed ones.
From me.
Well, I'd love a signed one.
Can I have a signed boxing glove?
You best email me with your address or something.
Thank you.
Email.
Oh, that'd be lovely.
And I'll send my address, yeah?
Oh, brilliant.
Was it David and
Joe.
Joe.
Joe?
Yeah.
Joe or Jane?
Joe. I'll answer
and
to
Dave.
anything to you, Charlie, to be honest with you.
Oh, thank you, my friend. No, my son, Joe, that's right, yeah?
Yes, please. Yeah, and well, if that's all right, we'd love that.
Okay, well, just give me an address to send them to, and I'll send them to you. All right?
We'll do that straight afterwards.
Oh, we'll do that straight after you. Just give me Alpha Petra.
She'll speak to you in a sec. I'll let you have a kip first.
Yeah.
All right, fucking kips.
Thank you, Charlie. It's just been
Thank you for blowing our minds.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Bless you. Thanks, mate. And get well soon.
So I hope you learn a little bit more how other people live.
Oh yeah, it's been amazing.
Yeah.
Bless you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks.
And never too old to learn. Yeah.
No,
Never too old to learn.
And basically, if I knock anyone's drink over, just say, I'll buy you another one.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And if you,
All right. If you knock it over me suit, then you must have to pay the laundry bill.
Oh,
and tend to when I go.
let's get out of hand now. Do you know what? Do you know what I've learned? If I go on the run, know where the train's going.
Yeah.